you're on the High Point city thing. We had, I was about 12 things shy, little 10-minute video presentations and
Oh yeah, we do have training.
a little
Like they're 10 minutes though.
three question quiz and put off your certificate of completion.
Ours is more like a 10 question, 20 question.
Last
You
about
watch video for a
30
certain time and then you take a little quiz and you have to complete several different.
Well, I'm happy for you. We're not as near as gee whiz as that.
I have not heard from Ryan.
Ours are like, if there's a fire in the building, do you A, leave the building? B, go get a glass of water?
And throw it on the fire.
C, read the newspaper, or D, all of the above.
Yeah. Well, our questions are. I gave you 5 things, and you had to choose which are that. And I like try again. Not quite. I bet I'm not quite trying to get it. Well,
Pick the least worst.
I couldn't remember what I'd done before.
The
To
least
get the
worst,
right,
is that
to
like
get the right
most
combination.
Yeah, most.
best? We'll pick the most best answer.
Yeah. the most.
My TikTok says 10. Do we have a quorum and should we
We
start?
do. Let's wait a few minutes and kind of get in touch with our IT guy. He's supposed to be running virtual.
Oh, that's right. And just so it gets broken.
Yeah. Let me see if there's anybody over here. I'll be right back.
Convenient way just to leave us.
Yeah. The building must be on fire. What's the matter with that IT up guy up front?
He's studying.
Taking his cyber training.
There's nobody over there, imagine that.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
The building's on fire. They went to get a glass of water.
I read a newspaper.
Yeah.
We had a big fire thing last week.
Here?
Yeah. I mean, there were, how many, like 5 fire engines wrapped around, all around the building, and
Did y'all
everybody standing out in the rain.
assemble in the parking lot?
Yeah.
What you guys doing? Waiting for the creek to rise or something? It's after 10.
Yes, sir. We're waiting on our IT guy here in our office to go live with this meeting. We can't get a hold of him we're going to give him a few more minutes.
Okay, because we got Daryl chomping at the bit over there, ready to go. And Lisa, how you doing this morning?
How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
Excellent. If I got in bed, I couldn't stand my proverbial self. Everything is a blessing.
That's great. Good. We're
Yeah,
making it through COVID.
Yeah, right now, our rate of infection is below 3% on the campus, so we're doing very, very well in that regard. We also have one of the only university vaccination points that's approved by CDC. So we're doing about 800 vaccinations on the campus, not only for our staff, but also for the surrounding community. So we are very, very proud of that, that we're one of only one so far that are doing that within the Greensboro Triad region right now.
Great. Great job. Thank you for saving so many lives.
You got that right. One day I want to save my own. I'm old as dirt, so I got to have something in my arm to help me out.
John, did you send Ryan? the meeting link?
Excuse me.
Did you send Ryan's a meeting link?
Yeah, it should be on. Go to that website. It should be up there. Because I assumed the direct.
He's typing now.
Greg, this is Andrew. I got an update from our IT guy. If anyone needs to attend the public meeting, there's a website for that, and the link to this meeting is posted on that website. So that'll be the opportunity for the public to join.
Okay, so this meeting is live. It's going live to the public, correct?
It's not on Facebook, but it is available to the public through highpointnc.gov. They have a attend virtual public meeting website, and
Okay.
they can click to join that meeting from there. So,
Okay, that sounds good.
okay.
Okay, we can start.
Okay, all right, thanks for your patience, everybody. As you may have heard, we're waiting on the IT guy to go live on this, so if anybody wants to join our public hearing, they could. We're working around that, but I'd like to thank everybody for coming to our March 23rd meeting. I'll start off with the ethics statement. In accordance with the State Government Ethics Act, and we'll talk about ethics in a little bit later. It is the duty of every TAC member to avoid conflicts of interest. Does any TAC member have any known conflict of interest with respect to any matters coming before the TAC today? If so, please identify the conflict and refrain from any participation in the particular matter involved. I now call the March 23rd meeting of the TAC to order. I hope you all know that my name is Neil Grimes and I'm the chair of the High Point MPO. And I will ask Greg, if he will, to conduct a roll call of the committee members that are in attendance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Would the committee members please respond by saying here when I call your name? Jay Wagner,
Yes, here.
Larry Warlick,
Here.
Martha Wolf,
Here.
Neil Grimes,
Here.
Richard McNabb, Lynn Reese, Fred McClure, Alan Purdue,
Here.
Daryl Fry,
Here.
Mike Fox, Lisa Mathis,
Here.
Andrew Perkins,
Here.
Larry Ward, Tobin Shepherd.
Shepherd here.
Mr. Chairman, you have 9 members present, and that is enough for a quorum.
All right, thank you. Before we begin our meeting this morning, on behalf of the TAC, I would like to welcome everyone. The committee is charged with reviewing and approving the plans and programs for the High Point Metropolitan Planning Organization. For specific plans that come before this committee, we also conduct public hearings as required by our public participation policy. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the resulting state restrictions on public gatherings, the committee is meeting remotely in accordance with state law. This necessitates some changes in our normal meeting procedures. For those items on the agenda that require a public hearing, the public comment period on these items will extend for 24 hours beyond the conclusion of this morning's hearing. For that reason, the TAC will not be voting on any public hearing item on the agenda. Instead, this meeting will be recessed until Thursday, March the 25th at 10 o'clock. This will allow the commission to further discuss any additional information or comments submitted by the public before making an official decision on those items at that time. And I guess, John, you'll be sending out a new Zoom or GoToMeeting.
Yes, Andrew sent that out last week.
Yeah, it's already been sent. So it
Oh,
should be
okay.
on the
You should have the link.
Yeah.
All right, I should have the link too. All right, very well. We'll start by, and I'll ask too, and we've all done this, but a gentle reminder, everybody stay on mute until you want to say something, or whenever you're asked to make a comment or something. What we will do, we got to vote on something like the minutes, okay? We're not going to do the roll call again. If there is a no or an abstention, then you say something. Silence is golden. Silence means acceptance of the motion. But we will need somebody to speak up and give us a motion in a second. So the first item is the consideration of the January 26th meeting minutes, realizing that we did not meet in February, starting on page 1. And I will ask for whatever the committee's consideration of this, the meeting minutes for January 26th are.
Want to approve of minutes.
Thank you, sir. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I think Martha was speaking, but she's on mute.
Correct, I was. But I was,
I can't see her lips move.
yeah, right. But I was making the motion to approve them, but since he did, I will make a second.
Fantastic. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If there is a no vote or an abstention vote, please let us know. Otherwise, silence is golden. Using my gavel, minutes are approved. Now we will have the public hearing for the 2021 Unified Plan Work Program. Up what? Starting on page 7, remembering that we're not going to take any action today, but we'll do that on Wednesday.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. John, can you share the planning work program? John is going to share his screen. It's going to have our planning work program. I'm just going to go over a few things. This is our yearly work program. We approve it every year. At this time of year, you guys have seen a draft version of this. We put this document out for public review and comment starting on February 1st and ran it through March 5th, I believe. We distributed the document to all the jurisdictions and our local libraries, asking for public comment. We did not receive any so far. We'll keep this meeting open, as Chairman Grimes has said, for any additional public comment until Thursday at 10 a.m. As you can see on the screen there, our total budget for the upcoming year is about $433,000 with an $86,000 match. You see the task items there is broken down by task item. The largest there is our planning process. That number also includes any money that we're going to use on special studies. Currently, we have 2 being conducted right now. City of High Point is doing a Greenway Master Plan, and the City of Archdale is requesting some funding for a study for their Main Street. Those 2 projects will probably carry over into our next fiscal year, part of it being paid out of this fiscal year and part of it being paid out of 21-22 fiscal year. Those funds will be allocated out of those special studies funding for those 2 projects. If you could switch down to the jurisdiction, keep on one more, sorry. So this is a breakdown of the local match. We base it on population. Obviously, this is done by the 2010 census. This could change going forward with the 2020 census. So those numbers will change, but that's our $86,000 local match of 20%, and that's each jurisdiction's breakdown. What you're anticipated to pay over the next fiscal year. So again, we had this out for public review and comment. The public will have another 24 hours to make comments on this document, and we'll bring it back for your approval on Thursday. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, hearing no further discussion, we will reconvene. We will recess this meeting when we get through with it to reconvene Thursday, excuse me, at 10 o'clock. And we hope you guys will come back and vote on this. The next item is consideration of amendments to the 2029 MTIP. Starting on page 9, John, if you would please.
Yeah, on page 10 and 11 are the STIP additions. There are various statewide public transit projects relating to capital operations and administrative costs. There's only one STIP modification. It's on page 12. It's C5609. It's various CMAQ projects, adding engineering, right-of-way construction, implementation operations in FY21 and FY22. And that's the amendments for this month. Do you have any questions? Let us know.
What's the consideration of the committee for these two amendments?
Shepherd, Lexington, move we approve.
Thank you.
Martha Wolf, Jamestown, I'll make a second.
Thank you, ma'am. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any no votes? Going. Thank you. Now, ethics.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In your packet, there is a newsletter that was provided by the North Carolina Ethics Commission. I don't have a whole lot to add. You can read that. Just to be sure that you get your ethics requirements completed. Those forms filled out by April the 15th. There's links and a lot of frequently asked questions and things like that. So it should help you guys out with filing this year. Again, get that done by April the 15th. They do. If you don't get these filled out, they could fine you potentially. So we don't want that to happen. So get these taken care of, and so you won't have that fine coming out of your pocket. So I'll be glad to answer any questions.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll go to our agency reports. I don't think Mr. Fox answered yay, but if one of our other DOT members would like to respond, we'd love to hear from you.
Good morning. This is Andy Perkins, the Vice Chair. I think I'd like to report on a few items from our 3-4 March board meeting. In general, we started discussions with the General Assembly on some of our transportation initiatives. That appears to be going quite well. Our new CFO, Stephanie King, is leading that effort for us. But right now we feel that all of the negotiations that we started in early February are going well, and that will continue to have positive influence from that. In addition, our cash balance is going extremely well. At the end of March, our cash balance was about $1.2 billion. We're still looking at ways in which to provide additional resources to push them out to the divisions to continue to support the various projects, particularly those that are already underway. So we feel very, very comfortable about that. And we are answering the mail to the General Assembly in terms of how we categorize our spending. Our spending plan has been approved. And so right now we're focusing on a couple of other things. One is the weather issues that we've had down in Brunswick County. We've put additional assets and the funding down there to help them to clean up that area. Is about 22 miles worth of tornadoes that went through that area. We're taking care of that. In addition, we're looking at putting a little bit more emphasis on litter pickup along our major highways and byways. As you know, because of the COVID issues and not being able to get out for darn near a year, our highways have been looking a little tattered and ragged around the edges. So all of our divisions, particularly Division 7 and 9, are looking at ways in which we can take care of that and get that done. So we're not only relying upon our tried and true contractors, but we're also looking at adding additional minority firms to our quiver to be able to make those things happen and continue to move forward. One of the other highlights of last month is Historical Black Colleges and Universities Fellowship Program. Graduated our first 12 students from that program that we are supporting. All 12 of those individuals have now moved on to permanent jobs, either within DOT or other agencies. So we're very proud of that. So we don't have to listen to people from North Carolina State or Chapel Hill about all their great engineers anymore. We have a few of our own going out there. I'm sure Darrell appreciates that. I see his hands up. There you go. Thank you, sir. We also got approval from the FAA to allow us to use drones to do some of our inspections on some of our secondary roads, as well as some of our bridges. That's a big a step forward, because now we don't have to essentially use that many assets to go out there. We can use the drone to look at the underside of bridges, as well as looking at the lanes and the turnoffs on some of our secondary roads and see what the condition is, and then figure out what we need to do from a partnership point of view to get those things done with our third-party contracts. We also last month entered into a partnership with DHHS to figure out ways in which we can use $2.5 million in COVID relief funding to our local transit agencies to be able to provide vaccines at the location where some of our people cannot get out. As most of you are aware, we do have some challenges in some of our communities where folks are elderly, above 70, 75, have a lot of other conditions that they cannot, in fact, get around as easily as some of us younger folks can prep around. And so we're using transportation assets to have people go out and have vaccinations in their home, have pop-up areas and areas where they can get to easily without having to travel long distances. We think that's a very positive program, and so we can continue to move in that direction. We are also very pleased to see that COVID-19 numbers are coming down and going in the right direction. Hospitalizations are down, infections are down, and inoculations are up. I just read a report this morning, where we have inoculated something like 3.4 million North Carolinians, which is tremendous. That's about 14% of the population. We still need to continue to do better, but all of our agencies are leaning forward in the foxhole to make sure that we get the vaccinations out to those people that need it and who want to have it, so that we can be able to make sure those things happen. Let's see here. I think that's enough right now. I don't want to hold this meeting up any longer, but if you have any questions for me, certainly I'll be more than happy to answer those. And I just saw my wonderful chairman to show up on this webpage, and we do have Pat Ivy in the rears. In case we make a mistake, he can correct both of us. Pat, do you have anything to add?
No, sir.
No, Andy, you've given a great report. I appreciate that.
With that, for the chairman of the Department of Transportation Board, we rest our case.
Thank you very much. We appreciate all that you do. Division 7, right?
Thank you very much. Our Division 7 projects start on page 19 through 22. Our changes are in red, which are very few. I would like to mention a couple projects real quick. Our US 2970 Business 85 South Main Street. We are diligently acquiring the right of way on that project, and we are able to demo those assets as we acquire them with our budgetary constraints lifting. I know that project was delayed in the past, and that caused us some issues getting those structures demolished. We've obviously had some homeless issues down there. It's a very difficult situation to deal with. But would like to thank the city of High Point. Their law enforcement has helped us treat those folks very fairly and help them vacate the location so we could demo those properties. So I do want to give a shout out for that, and thank you very much. Another project we've been able to turn on or start back on the design is the Ski Club Road to I-40 Johnson Street. That project is starting back up. And I would like to mention our Ski Club Road project. We are working diligently trying to get that into the final stages. We're meeting with the contractor trying to wrap that up. We're optimistically hoping for late summer, but certainly looking at an early fall completion date on that project as well. And that's all the updates I have. I would like to add, I am a A&T graduate, Mr. Perkins. So I am. There are a lot of us Aggies out and about. So I do want to.
Amen to that, brother. I found that out. So that's great. Glad to have on board. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Be glad to answer any questions.
Yes, this is Martha Wolf from Jamestown. We had a project, Oakdale Road Phase 2, that was put on hold. It was in the design phase, and just wondered, is there any way knowing when that might be removed from on hold and back to an active status?
I don't have that information in front of me, but I will find out and give you an email before the end of the day today.
That's awesome. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. You're very welcome.
Right. If I could add, one other thing that's been in the news a lot recently is the litter efforts that we have engaged in statewide. We got a little behind on that when we had our financial issues, but we've re-engaged and the board has shifted an additional $30 million statewide toward those efforts. But we've also realized it's not just a problem you can throw money at, in that there needs to be some public awareness on preventing litter. And to that impact, you're gonna be seeing some more public awareness campaigns, etc. But we're also trying to have a good example and be out and be involved in picking litter up. And Wright and I are joining one of our crews this afternoon. Wright, are we going to be on what, 421 or 73?
What, 73 southbound.
Yeah, this afternoon to do some litter pickup work. So you'll see some publicity about that. We picked a day when unfortunately Mr. Perkins was tied up in meetings, but if any of you all would like to schedule something to participate and be involved and publicize that within your own communities, please let us know and we'll be happy to coordinate that. We'll make sure you get it done safely. You'll be out there with vests and everything, and we'll make sure that you have a safe time. But we obviously need to get the message out, particularly in light of there's a lot more litter out on the road, thanks to, a lot more people eating out during the pandemic. There's just more, cups and plates and forks and napkins and things like that. And if you have if you notice in your particular jurisdiction that there's or particular issues, let us know, and let Wright and Pat and Brandon know, and we'll try to put some emphasis on that.
Mike, Wright, I was just going to say the town of Jamestown is doing
All right, Martha, can you repeat that?
Yes, my wireless goes in and out. I'm just saying the town of Jamestown is doing a town-wide litter sweep on April 25th. So we're trying to do our part to help in our little town.
And I
Right,
would like
if you would have, some of your staff take some pictures and publicize some stuff, we'll be happy to retweet it and show it on our social media too, and would be happy to do that with anyone else.
Okay, will do.
I would like to add to Chairman Fox's comments. We've picked up from January of this year to date, we've picked up over 2 million pounds of litter. We being the department and our litter forces, our contractors and Adopt a Highway folks. And since July of last year, we picked up over 5 million pounds of litter. And obviously we were a little bit less active during our budgetary, constraints when they were affecting, our forces. But just that's a lot of, it's a high volume of litter.
That's a lot of trash.
Good comments for us all. Thank you very much. Division 8, I think we'll hear from Brandon Jones.
Yes, sir. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Good
Yes.
morning. You'll see our updates on page 23. The top 3 projects listed are all ongoing engineering projects. We don't have any of the projects with right-of-way approved at this time. We do anticipate Finch Farm Road right-of-way activities will be turned back on anytime now. So that July 2022 let date for Finch Farm Road is probably somewhat questionable at this time, but if we can get the right-of-way turned back on and start hitting that hard with utilities, it'll be close. But if there's any questions, we are letting the Morris Road Bridge Replacement Project this afternoon, and that'll be done 180 days after a floating availability. So that'll be done by fall of this year. Any questions?
Thank you. Division 9, Pat.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My report begins on page 24. Just a couple of highlights. The landscaping project for Bridge 27 in Lexington, that's Winston Road. We awarded that project back in January, and the contractor is just about ready to get started on that. We want to get that completed as quickly as possible. Project R5789, which is our TAP funding for the AD ramps in various locations in Davidson, Davie, Forsyth, and Rowan counties. That one was also awarded back in January, and contractor plans to begin that work in early April. As a side note to that, I did want to mention as well, Mr. Jones reminded me that earlier this month we were notified that some additional TAP funding has been authorized for fiscal year 2022. Basically, that means each division will get $1 million for additional ADA ramps to be done during fiscal year 2022. Prior to this, there was an emphasis on serving populations less than 5,000. For this round, that emphasis has been eliminated. So we're going to be looking basically at all locations across the division. And of course, this money may shift a little bit depending on availability, but each of the divisions are currently working on ADA ramp locations, a list that we have to provide by the end of June to Raleigh so that we can get these projects awarded later this year. So we are excited about that. Those are needed projects. On page 27, just as a reminder, R5737, which is our new interchange on 2970 there at Old Greensboro Road at Davidson Davie Community College. We are moving rapidly with wrapping up right-of-way acquisition and utility relocations in anticipation of our October 2021 let date for that project as well. Just as a side note, we are also working, I think it was mentioned last time that the department did receive some COVID-19 funding for transportation. We are working on a list of potential projects that could be accelerated with those funding sources, and we're hopeful that at our next meeting, not the one on Thursday, but on our next meeting, we will have an update and a confirmation on which projects will be included in that as well. So everything else is self-explanatory unless anyone has any questions for me. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Federal Highway Administration, is Suzette with us? Ms. Morales? Okay.
Oh, I was talking. I'm sorry, I was talking and. Okay, yes, I'm here. So, good morning, everyone. I just wanted you to know that actually I don't have any updates. Oh, I think my video.
Let us know. Transportation
Office,
planning.
there I am. Yeah, no updates for me today. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Is Michael, Transportation Planning Branch, with us?
Yes, I'm here, Michael Abuya. My report is on pages 31 and 32. On top of that, I don't have anything else for the meeting today. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any questions for any of these folks? Get into our local transit. Hi-Tran, Angela.
Mr. Grimes, I don't believe Angela's on the call today, but I do not believe we have anything new to report today.
All right, thank you. Davidson County, Richard Jones.
Good morning. Yeah, we're happy to announce that on Monday, April 5th, we'll be relaunching our deviated fixed routes, the 4 routes here in Davidson County, and we'll have a good connection with Park there at the Thomasville Park and Ride. So we're excited about being back to that stop on every hour. Answer any questions.
Very good, very good. RCATS?
Good morning. So I don't have anything additional to add. We're just continuing to do what we do. We are providing transportation to the vaccination sites if needed. So definitely still continuing to try to get that word out.
Very good. Mr. Ryan, anything from Park?
Yes, sir. Good morning. Very quickly, I've got information in your packets. Wanted to add that we have been working with state DHHS and emergency management with regards to the vaccine site at Four Seasons. So the past couple of weeks, we've actually added a few options for folks to get to that vaccine site, as well as GTA, Guilford County, and the state health department and local agencies. So that has ramped up. The other item I wanted to mention, we've been working with our 4 MPOs in the Triad as it relates to our transportation demand management program. PART has been managing the ride sharing and carpooling program here in the Triad for almost 20 years now. COVID-19 has certainly had a major impact with our van pool program, but we've actually been looking at some different items within our own MPOs to expand that program. And so there'll be some items and some information we bring back in front of the MPO group as far as some of our activities and initiatives we have at PART to address some of those mobility options, not just van pooling, but some other elements within the MPO and how we're going to try to help coordinate and expand some of that mobility options here in our region. So that's a new item that'll be coming up that we'll be working with local staff to kind of give an overview and an update at a future meeting. Be happy to answer any questions, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. Is anyone anything else to contribute for the good of the group? All right, nothing else. I will adjourn this meeting until Thursday, the 25th at 10 o'clock to consider the approval of the 2021-2022 UPWA. Everybody get your shot. I've had mine, both of them, and stay safe. And
I'd just like to add, if you should have that meeting already in your email box. If you don't, for some reason, send us an email and we'll send you the link for that meeting on Thursday. It should be really quick. We just have the one public hearing item to vote on, and it'll be done. So just let us know if you don't have that link.
And thank you for your participation today.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Take care.